Not gonna lie, bit worried about this one. Hello and welcome to Big Friendly Grub, you absolutely wonderful, beautiful people. Now, don't you hate it when things aren't always as they seem? As someone who suffers from anxiety, I get that feeling a lot. It's your brain telling you something is wrong when really everything's fine. But also, don't you hate it when you go to buy something and it's not as you hoped it would be? It's really disappointing. Like when you go to buy something on Amazon and it turns up and it's a lot smaller than you expected it to be. Or you go to buy what you might think is a giant Lindor, but it's not a giant Lindor at all. No, instead, it's just a load of little ones. All right, I'll level with you. I already knew it was a bunch of normal sized Lindors in there, but maybe someone picked one of those up. They go, oh my God, a giant Lindor. And you get home, open it, and it's just these. You will be well disappointed. Now these giant balls of Lindor only usually come out around Christmas. You can pick them up then. I've had mine sitting around since then because I've been planning to do that video since then, but I've been so worried about messing it up. I've been putting it off and been putting it off. But today's the day, we're gonna do it. I'm going to turn this into a giant Lindor because we've already got the mold for it, so why not do it? So if you've not had one of these Lindors before, first of all, oh my God, you've not even lived, because these things are amazing. They are basically, they are little balls of chocolate. These ones are milk chocolate, but you can also get dark chocolate ones and white chocolate ones, but I've gone for the regular milk chocolate ones. It's got a little knobble in the bottom there, but otherwise it's a perfectly round sphere of chocolate. And then we cut one of these open, right down the middle here. Inside we've got a perfectly lovely ganache filling, and these things are so addictive, but so good. So I want to recreate one of these using the container that it came in. So I'll be able to mold the chocolate around this and then make a lovely ganache filling to then fill it up, and then I will put both halves together and hopefully we will have a giant Lindor. But this is going to involve a lot of chocolate work, so I better get started because I'm a bit worried about this. So for the outer shell of our giant Lindor that I'm going to mould around these two halves of plastic, you want to temper ourselves some chocolate. So I've got a pan of gently simmering water here. I'm going to pop about 750 grams worth of milk chocolate over this, and I want to temper it. So tempering it involves bringing it up to 45 degrees, bringing it back down to 26 degrees, and then reheating it back up to 29 degrees C. That'll give it a lovely shine, make it stronger. You shouldn't get any blooming on it, which is when you can sometimes get white bits in the chocolate, and it will just be a general better quality. Every chocolate's slightly different. This is the temperature you need for milk chocolate. Dark chocolate requires another temperature. So the first stage is I've just got to have a bit of patience and wait for this chocolate all to melt down. So that has now melted down. So I'm going to go in with a temperature probe to see what it's at. We'll try and not touch the bottom of the pan because it will end up saying it's higher than it actually is. 43, 45, nearly there. There we go. That is about right. So what I want to do now is pop this into a bowl of water. Obviously, don't let the water come up and over into your chocolate because that will ruin your chocolate. Just want to bring the temperature back down to 26 degrees C. So I'm just going to let the chocolate move around to help distribute some of that cold that's coming from that cold water. If you've got ice, then probably ices are better because it won't be bobbing around. But I have no ice, so I'm making do with cold water. Right, this has been a very slow process, but it's on 26.1. Just waiting for it to drop. Another 0.1 degrees. Anyone who says that baking and chocolate work isn't a science should refer them to videos like this. 26 degrees, there we go. Move this back over my bowl of simmering water. I just need to gently bring this back up to 29 degrees. It shouldn't take as long this time. Okay, that is back up to 29 degrees. It did not take very long at all. That was probably about a minute. So off that comes. Now I'm going to take my two halves of my mould, which I've actually lightly greased with some cake release just because I want to make sure that this comes out of here later. I want to make sure that this comes out of here later. and try and get some of this chocolate in without making a huge mess. I'm just going to work this up and around the sides. Those are both now nicely coated with chocolate. Checked all around the outside, make sure there's no light peeking through, because then I can be sure that it's completely coated all around the outer shell. Now in time these should set up quite nicely just at room temperature because they are tempered, but I am going to pop these into the fridge to speed up the process. So we'll come back once these have set up and we can start working on the filling. Okay, these have had not very long in the fridge, about 30 minutes. You can see those look nice and shiny. If I tap it here and see, because it's not coming away on my fingers, that these are set. So I can now work on my filling. To do that, I need to make a ganache. So I've got a pan over a medium-high heat here, and into that pan I'm going to pop in, whoa, a lot of cream. In fact, about 2 litres worth. That's probably a bit too high actually. I'm going to lower that. So I'm going to bring that cream up to a gentle simmer. I don't want it to boil, especially as it's so close to the top, because it'll probably boil over and get on my work surface, and that'll be a nightmare to clean off. Right, my cream has come up to a gentle simmer, so I'm going to pour this over about 1.5 litres about 1.5 kilos of chocolate, milk chocolate. I'm going to put that through a sieve just in case any bits of like skin, by the way, when I say skin, I mean skin off the cream, not skin off of me, that may have burnt at the bottom of that pan. I'm just going to mix this all together. I might need some more chocolate, but I do have some spare. This is quite a lot actually. Obviously I have never made one of these before, so I am winging it. I think I'm going to need more chocolate, so I'm going to put in about another 0.5 kilo of chocolate into that. That looks lovely, but because I want a bit more of that characteristic Lindor richness in there, I'm also going to chuck in 150 grams of butter as well and melt that through. There we go, that gives that ganache even more of a lovely glossy shine. But I'm not done. I'm going to finish this off with a glug of golden syrup, because why the heck not? We're making it a giant Lindor. There we go, that is one beautiful looking ganache. So now I just want to give this a little bit of time to cool down. Not too long, about 10-15 minutes, just to make sure it doesn't melt my shell when I pour it in. That butter and golden syrup should have brought the temperature down some anyway. So I'll leave it 10 minutes just to be on the safe side. Right, it's time for the next stage. I've popped this one into a bowl because obviously it's not got a flat bottom like this one. So I don't want this rocking and rolling around. Now, I have a feeling I've done too much ganache here, but better too much than too little. So I want to fill this right up to the brim. Right, those are as full as they're going to get without it going everywhere, so I'm going to leave it at that. But these need to go back into the fridge and set up completely. I have no idea how long that's going to take. Could take an hour, could take a day, who knows. But what I can do now is wait. So into the fridge with these, and we will come back hopefully when these have set. If they don't set, I'm going to be very, very sad. So, it's been 1 week since I put my giant Lindor in the fridge, and I wish I was joking, but I'm not. It has been a week because, well, after I'd let the giant Lindor set, I took it out just to see how easily it would come out of the plastic container. The answer is not easily. Yeah, there was some unpleasantness. Basically, I tried just testing to see if it would come out straight away, and it wouldn't. So I thought, right, okay, well, that's not good. So I tried the usual things like perhaps banging it on the counter, tapping it, then eventually going in with a knife and trying to get around the edge, and that didn't work. And so then I started going at it with a blowtorch to see if I could melt the chocolate a bit, and then I started tapping the back with the back side of a knife, and then eventually I took a hammer to the mold, and basically the outside of the giant Lindor came away, and it didn't go well. But I'm not prepared to give up, so I popped it into the freezer. I didn't want to waste that much chocolate, so I've saved it, and basically, yeah, it's out here now, and I'm not willing to give up on this. So what I'm going to do, we are going to do this, and we're going to do this properly. So I've got myself another big bag of milk chocolate for the outside. Got myself 2 silicone molds, which are basically 2 halves of a sphere. These should allow me to do that much easier because it's silicone, so it should come out. Another reason why it might have got stuck is because my tempering may not have been spot on. To be honest, I was using that thermometer, it might have been touching the bowl at some point, so perhaps I wasn't getting that accurate reading. And if you don't temper properly, then it'll do stuff like that. It won't come out of molds as easily as it should. So it's possible, in fact, very likely that my tempering wasn't up to scratch. So I've got myself an infrared thermometer that I can just point at my chocolate and melt it. So I should get a more accurate reading. So let's try and do this again. Basically, I'm going to melt all of this down again, just let it get back to its original like ganache state. And then I will do a new shell, melt this down, pour it in, and hopefully this time will work, because I am not prepared to give up on this because it will work. I know it will. Right, I've got my bowl over a simmering pan of water again, and I'm going to go through my whole tempering process again. So I've got more chocolate. This is really nice quality, like chocolate you would use for chocolatier work, you know. And I'm just going to let that melt down again, get to 46 degrees C. I'm going to use my thermometer, that's it, my infrared thermometer, to be able to check the temperature of this. And I'm not going to go through the whole process again with you because I've already done it once, but I've got my digital thermometer, infrared thermometer here to hopefully help me with that. So let's try this again, fingers crossed, right? Now I'm just bringing the temperature down again in a little bit of cold water. Just pop this bowl into another bowl with a little cold water, not as much as I did last time because it was floating and bobbing around. And I'm just going to let this come back down to 26 degrees C now. So patience is required from me anyway. You can just skip to the next bit. Right, it's on 26.2, so I'm going to call that close enough because there's always a bit of a margin of error. So I'm going to pop this back over my pan. Time to bring this back up to 29 degrees C. 28.9, 29, there we go. Off that comes. Now let's get this divided between my silicone molds. And I've got a baking tray under here because what I'm going to do this time is I'm just going to coat this all around. Yeah, chocolate seems a very different consistency this time, so I'm hoping that means it is tempered better than last time. And it's better quality chocolate as well. Hey, how it looks coated all around. Hopefully that'll create a nice shell. So what I'm going to do now is this, make chocolate rain. So it gets out all that excess chocolate and should just leave us with what we need, hopefully. So these can now go into the fridge to set. Hopefully it will come out this time. And don't worry about all of this, I am going to let this set and I'm going to use it for something else. I won't let it go to waste. Right, my shells have set. I'm going to keep these in the fridge for now. I'm not going to worry about this excess on the outside because I can deal with that in a bit. I'm hopeful that this should come out this time. I'm not going to take it out just yet because it's going to be fragile and I don't want to risk breaking it. So it's going back in the fridge for now while I melt down my filling again. First thing I'm going to do is wipe this bowl out because for some reason there is some water in it. And water won't go well with my chocolate filling. Now here you can see my attempt, which didn't go so well the last time. Here you can see some of the shell, but this is the ganache, and it just, yeah, it didn't go well. So this needs to be melted down again, so I'm just going to pop it into the bowl and let it do its thing. It might take a while because look at the size of it, but I'm hopeful that this will melt down again quite nicely and I'll get a nice ganache out of it still. Okay, it's taken a good 20 to 25 minutes or so, but my failed GIANT Lindor has melted back down into a lovely ganache. So I'm going to move this off and just let it cool down a bit before I do my second attempt and pour it into my shell. So fingers crossed, fingers crossed. Right, I just realised I had my microphone off for that whole segment. Well done me. But it's just literally me pouring the ganache into my shells. Slight problem, don't have quite as much in this one. Wasn't quite as much as last time. Hold on, I just remembered. I've still got this massive tray of chocolate which I can use. I can melt some of this down and pour it into that other half. Let's see if this will top this up some. There we go, that's more like it. That's much more even. Okay, now I can try and get these back into the fridge. Right, these have had a good long time to set up. I actually left them overnight just because I wanted to be sure they were set. So here comes the moment of truth. I really hope they come out this time. So I don't know what the best way to do this is. Just pull away, I guess. There's going to be no easy way to do this. Oh, 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 oh no, oh no, oh no. Oh, it's coming away again. Oh man. Oh, no. Okay, it's fine. It's fine. Yeah, that has. No, it's stuck. It's stuck. Oh, for crying out loud. Okay, it's fine. I will get this right. It still tastes great, so I'm not worried about that. Well, that did go better than last time in that it's come out a bit more intact, but it kind of stuck and cracked around here. And I think what it is, my ganache is not quite solid enough. It's still too soft. So it's caused that to crack and then not come out properly. I think if I make the ganache a bit more solid, perhaps put some more chocolate in it so it's got less give on it, then it will work. It's not the chocolate's problem, it's the filling's problem. So it'll be third time lucky. I just need to get more chocolate. So I have to try again. At least it tastes good. Third time lucky. Let's do this. Oh my god, they're out. They are both out. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Okay. Oh my god. Oh my god. Right. They are both out. They are both pretty much intact. The edges here are a bit off, but they are out. They look good. Look, it's solid, it's solid. Ugh. Right, okay. The filling is still a bit squishy, so I'm going to leave these to set a bit more. I just didn't want to leave them in that in those silicone molds for too long and risk them not coming out again. So I'm going to put them back in for a while just to let the inside solidify a bit more because it's still quite tacky. And I'm going to try and put these together. Oh dear. Okay, good news is the inside's set. Bad news is it's cracked a bit down here, but to be honest, I'm not worried about it. It is what it is. I might be able to patch it up, but right now I just want to put these together so that they form one big giant Lindor, because at this point I could try again, but as long as it's staying intact, that's all I care about. Right, to stick these together, what I'm going to do is get my blowtorch and very, very carefully just melt the edge a bit. That's what I'm going to do. And on this one as well, turn this upside down. I'm going to very, 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 very carefully pop these together like so. Oh, it's not quite even. Come on, Matt. You can do this. Oh, there we go. There we go. It's coming together. Right. Oh, got a bit of squidging out there, but I'm not worried anymore. I'm not worried anymore. I'm past that point. Right, I've got a little bit of chocolate left. I might melt it down to see if I can seal that up, just to improve its structural integrity. Okay, I've melted a little bit more chocolate, and I'm just going to try it and seal up these little cracks as best as I can. Again, I'm not too worried about it. Now at this point, there we go, that should stay together just long enough for me to do this final bit. I just literally just want to do one more thing and then that's it. I'm calling it a day. Here we go. I put it back in its original wrapper. It's been a journey. It doesn't even feel like the same video anymore just because it's been spread across like so many days. But it is done. The giant Lindor is done. So I'm just going to take it out of the wrapper again. Can't believe I spent all this time getting it put together just to take it all apart again. But that's the nature of these videos. It's a challenge. It is a challenge. But considering all the trouble that I went to, I'm pretty happy with that. I'm not ecstatic that it cracked right at the very end, but I think there's plenty I learned from that there. But look at that. That's bonkers. Oh dear. And to be honest, if it weren't for that cracking there, I think it'd be absolutely fine. It's probably going to taste pretty good though. I mean, I'm just going to break into this now just to see what it tastes like. I weighed this. It is 3.5 kilos of just chocolate, basically, chocolate and cream. It is bonkers. I'll just cut back into it, mightn't I? There we go. I sliced it right down the middle, but that is a lovely looking ganache in there. Oh dear. What am I going to do with all of this now that I've done it? This is the thing about doing these things. I end up with this stuff. I've got no one else to give it to at the moment, but that's the problem for future, Matt. I'm sure I can do something with this, but anyway, cheers. After all of that, at least it tastes good. At least it tastes good. There was no way it wasn't going to taste good. I mean, look at that ganache. That's come out really well. To be honest, I think I'm pretty happy with that. Like I said, the structural integrity could be better, but I've learned so much in terms of chocolate in doing that. And I think if I had like a way to have that set a bit easier, because I was kind of having to cram it into spaces, I think it was just a bit too much for it, too much handling. One giant Lindor, done. I did it, that was the main thing. And yeah, cheers. I've got chocolate on my face, I'm mentally exhausted. That was an epic journey trying to do that thing. On the whole, I'm pretty happy with how that turned out. I think next time I try and do something with that much chocolate, I might have to get hold of a tempering machine, just because it'll make life so much easier, because that was half the battle, trying to melt down that much chocolate, trying to get it right, and trying to get it tempered right. I think next time, tempering machine, because there will be a next time. I'm not going to give up on these things. That was a challenge. Pretty happy with how it turned out, but can do better, will do better. And yeah, if there's other giant things you want me to make, let me know. I enjoy the challenge. Gonna have to figure out what to do with that, but that's a problem for future Matt. And future Matt, we'll see you next time on Big Friendly Grub. I hope you enjoyed that video. I really do, because yeah. But yeah, hope you enjoyed that. If you did, for God's sake, like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell to find out when new videos are going up, and I will see you next time on Big Friendly Grub. Take care, bye bye.